Mike Sierra 1 can't handle the truth.
You're a cheat and a swindler. That's what you are. How can you do a thing like this?
I am authorized to assure you these rumors are based on hysteria and are absolutely false. I repeat, these rumors are absolutely false.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining me once again, as I take another look at the relentless lies of Mike Zero. For well over 2 years or more, Zero pummeled into people's heads that Brie Larson was going to be starring in, as well as writing in a TV show we have now come to know as The Acolyte. For 2 years, Zero had Brie Larson at loggerheads with just about everyone within Lucasfilm, including George Lucas, Leslie Headland, and even Kathleen Kennedy. Brie wanted to change George's philosophy on Star Wars and make her character Maeve the most powerful Jedi ever. Video after video, confrontation after confrontation, Zero used Brie because she was the main talking point coming out of Captain Marvel. So because of that, he used her as a tool to align himself with people who also didn't think too much of Brie, much in the same way as everyone hated Rian Johnson.
Now, it's described that as of right now, Brie Larson was the one responsible for convincing Leslie Headland to make Brie Larson's character Maeve the new Chosen One, and to be the new character that will become a part of the true Chosen One prophecy. Now, let me stop right there for a second. This is all Brie Larson's doing. Basically, she is the one who convinced Leslie Headland to write her character down as the new Chosen One. Now, keep in mind, Brie Larson was indeed recently fired from another Star Wars project, and that was the big-time animated TV series for Disney Plus that was going to actually revolve around the character of Maeve.
So the format remains the same. Take someone everyone hates and then make them do things that were never proven in any way, shape, or form. For example, go up against the creator himself, George Lucas. What self-respecting Star Wars fan is just gonna stand by and watch this happen without getting seriously upset at Brie or anyone else for that matter, based solely on something that must be true, because Zero said so? The story crafting should be transparent at this point. Take an antagonist, then put them up against the protagonist, then sit back and watch the views roll in, change the titles of your videos, and repeat. It doesn't matter that you can't find a transcript of these actions or interviews that prove these points. It happened, so deal with it. But then something happens, the real truth of the matter arrives. The real stars of the show are revealed, so what do? You create a story that backs you out of the corner you lied your way into.
The first reason for Brie Larson quitting from the series has to do with Kathleen Kennedy tapping into changing elements of the character that Brie Larson did not agree with. Given that Maeve is said to be a Jedi god of sorts, Kennedy wanted to focus on a different time in the character's life that was going to show the character's weakness, and that this is something that Brie Larson had trouble with. Not just that, but their show was not just going to be about Maeve, it was going to be about other Jedi as well. And Larson had tons of issues with that as well on top of that.
The 2 years worth of lies had come to an end after they announced the real stars of The Acolyte. Zero had no course of action but to pull Brie out of a show she was never going to be in. And this is Zero's get-out clause for all of his clickbait news stories. When something comes to pass that goes against what he has told you, that thing is then cancelled, postponed, removed, deleted, by Kathleen, the Disney board, Bob Iger, John or Dave, or George running off to whoever to ask permission to remove stuff that just ain't cutting it in a production that saw no such scenario. As long as it had the desired effect from the off, it doesn't matter what Zero claimed, because he made his money and you were duped time and time again. You would think that would be the end of that. Well, you couldn't be more wrong if you tried. Zero is not one for letting things go, that much is clear. But he also can't help re-establishing a fake story over again. But it's all the same stuff. But this time it's pointing the finger of blame at someone else.
Now, it's noted that one big plan of Leslie's is that she has in store for The Acolyte that is going to include so many retcons and changes toward the prequel trilogy movies by George that it is going to seemingly erase George Lucas's legacy with the prequel trilogy and his philosophy of what Star Wars truly stands for. Now, the substance of her plan to end his legacy with the prequels is not only by creating a new Chosen One for the Acolyte show that will overshine Anakin Skywalker's prophecy, but that she is also going to be literally erasing some important valuable pieces of lore toward the prequels, using the Acolyte as the backbone or source material for making that happen. Now, both John and Dave are said to already be highly concerned about this approach and are already developing a response to undo these retcons somehow, some way, and plans to end Lucas's legacy with their new upcoming shows.
That was a clip from 2 days ago, the 14th of June 2023. Zero has jumped back on the bandwagon of a new chosen one, because he still needs to create news that panders to those who are easily misled and want to believe they are being screwed over by someone writing a show they know nothing about, to which they have also seen no footage, but will be led blindly by Zero's fake news. Of course, it wouldn't be true unless someone was trying to thwart this ridiculous idea, so enter John and Dave, who will now spend weeks and months going to the board, going to Iger, to undo these non-existent wrongs. This in turn gives Zero the room to make videos to tell you what they are doing to put things right over the coming weeks and months.
Brie Larson was indeed recently fired from another Star Wars project, and that was the big-time animated TV series for Disney Plus that was going to actually revolve around the character of Maeve.
That was a clip from around the middle of November back in 2020. I already played the clip earlier in this video. It highlighted Brie's exit from an animated show, the so-called spin-off to The Acolyte. Some 2 years and 5 months later, May 2nd, 2023, Zero came out with this. Lucasfilm is completely shutting down this Star Wars project. Here's why, and please note, there is no mention of this being animated.
However, one in particular is shutting down. This is described to be the Acolyte spin-off show that was being led by Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland that focused on a Jedi god. The series was going to be a small-scale series that Lucasfilm is now pulling the plug on. The series is now officially getting wiped from the slate of Star Wars shows that was intended to release in the beginning of 2025 that was going to feature actress Brie Larson in the ensemble cast series. A big reason why Disney decided to cancel this immediately didn't have to do with just Kathleen Kennedy, but also that Disney lately has been having issues with Brie Larson after the production of The Marvels.
So, Brie was fired from an animated TV show back in 2020, and Zero is back with a video to tell you that this show is now being shut down 2 years and 5 months later. But not only that, Brie Larson hasn't been fired, they just have issues with her because of The Marvels. Here's my theory. Zero reused old news about a show that never existed. He then wasted your time telling you about a show that lo and behold has been deleted, cancelled or removed, just like I said before. Because that's how his clickbait works. It's history that will always repeat itself, and it's doing just that with Zero's latest interest, The Dial of Destiny. In the past 3 months, Zero has produced 2 to 3 videos a week about the film which has still not been released. Once again, he is shining a light on the inept and trying to show good reason for it, by having people say the things he has claimed in his videos, when in truth they haven't. How do I know that? Because there is no proof of it. To sit down during an interview and badmouth and blame the fans for the film's bad reception or their lack of faith in the film is tantamount to career suicide, no matter what you feel the person is or isn't capable of. It would be like a shop owner sitting outside their store and telling customers not to shop here because you're not the kind of customer they want. This is just another in the long line of made-up BS that is along the lines of Gina's firing and rehiring, and all the fake news that surrounded that. How Andor would have Darth Vader in the first series and never did. How Sebastian Stan would be the new Luke. Brie Larson was going to be Mara Jade. He plays both sides, those who want to hear good, but more towards those who want to hear bad. So to be clear, before I wrap this up, this is not about whether Indy 5 will be good or bad, for whatever people's reasons are. This is about Zero yet again putting words he has written into the mouths of people he clearly hates, in situations both past and present. His journey on the Indy 5 gravy train will carry on for months. It may even go into years. It's just another in a line of clickbait fiction that he needs to perpetuate to keep his money rolling in, and making money on the back of lies is fraud. Even if you're not physically being parted from your money, you're just helping him achieve it. I wonder how many people would actually pay to view a Zero video. Not many I would guess, but watch they do, and it keeps the cycle going. There is more I wanted to add. The whole thing about Kennedy being ousted from Hollywood is hilarious, but maybe I will look at that another time. Anyway, that's all I have for today, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.